A jerkin' good time, and if you get it, you get it. I'm Joe Renton with a retro review of Josie and the Pussycats, a movie that got way too much hate when it was initially released. I was actually working at the theater in town when this movie came out, and among many others, I saw this multiple times in theaters, always laughed, always found it entertaining, and seeing Rachel Lee Cook now and Rachel Lee Cook back then, I'm convinced she's a fucking immortal. She looks goddamn great, she's fucking funny as hell, and I really wish that she had, more like mainstream success, though she seems happy with what she's doing and has done some good movies since, like Love Guaranteed, that was a Netflix original that was quite a bit of fun and very enjoyable. This was back when Rachel Lee Cook was riding the whole wave of success from She's All That. You know that movie where they tried to make her ugly? They tried to make her nerdy and, homely and stuff like that. Unable to hide the fact that she's a fucking bombshell. Also, Tara Reid is in this playing a very, very aloof woman, so nothing really ever changes, but she did play it up, the blonde stereotype and everything, all innocent. And Rosario Dawson, who really had an interesting career after this. Like, there was a good cast in this. Parker Posey was in it, Alan Cumming, which I promise is the last name I reacted to with the good taste and maturity you've all come to expect from me. Yes, Nightcrawler himself was in this. And so Parker Posey actually was really funny in this, and I think she was able to kind of wash away, her time in Scream 3, which didn't really do a lot of favors for anybody. Even though I think the acting was fine, the movie was doomed because of how the studio dealt with it, and you can check out my retro review of that. But this is based on the characters from Archie Comics, and it's fun. They're in the town of Riverdale. If you're not familiar with the Josie and the Pussycats lore, really can't give you a ton of background, but it's based on these three girls being in the town of Riverdale, and they're a rock band, they're a rock trio, and the power of friendship will always keep them united. And after this boy band du jour starts to question why their success is happening so quickly, their plane crashes mysteriously, because Alan Cumming's character of Wyatt decides to, call in a favor and everything, and him and the pilot basically, get out of there, and, now they need a new band. The record label needs a new band, so they suddenly find Josie and the Pussycats, and in a very quick, rise to success, Josie's face is all over the marketing and everything because they're trying to drive a wedge between all of these friends, and they must learn, again, that the power of friendship will always, unite them. It's like a JRPG. Just with, I would say, a lot weirder hair, but there was a lot of weird hair in this, and this movie is so stupid, but I love it. Like, got way too much hate. I don't understand why Rachel Lee Cook seemed to be the one that didn't have a ton of success after this, because Rosario Dawson and Tara Reid, to an extent, did. Tara Reid, would find more, cult success with the Sharknado movies, but Rosario Dawson seemed like the one that did the best out of this trio. I don't know. That's just me. That's always something that's going to kind of stick in my head. Maybe she made the choice to step back from, movies. Rachel Lee Cook, that is. I just always thought she had a leading star quality. But anyway. So Josie and the Pussycats, the soundtrack is fucking phenomenal. I love the soundtrack. I have it on my YouTube Music app because I just love it. It's just great. It's catchy. 3 small words of song that will be etched in my head forever. And it's just fun and breezy and energetic. And also, this is from the director, the two, directors, man and woman, that directed and wrote Can't Hardly Wait. And now that I know that, you can kind of see some similarities. If you want me to retro review Can't Hardly Wait, let me know in the comments. But basically, Alan Cumming is a very over-the-top villain, character of Wyatt. No, not the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. As hilarious as that would have been, he played another painted-up guy in Nightcrawler. And, I'm here. It's like basically they're here because they love music. They're here because they want to succeed. They want to do some stuff. And there's this love interest, of course, that Rachel Lee Cook's character Josie has, and it's endearing and everything. And she likes him, he likes her, but they both don't think that the other likes the other. So naturally, there's these odd moments and everything where they're trying to play this stuff off because he's like thinking she can never like me, and she's like, well, he's just totally aloof, but I like him. And of course, they unite at the end because love conquers all. Obviously the whole thing of working subliminal messages into music to do marketing and stuff like that, like, oh, Mr. Movie Phone, he's all over the goddamn thing, and if you're old like me, you remember Mr. Movie Phone, but he made a lot of money, had a lot of marketing from that. But they put subliminal message stuff in there. Parker Posey is the character of Fiona that has her own issues from her past, but has a secret layer, as every record label does, where they put subliminal messages and, oh, I really want a Big Mac, or I really want Gatorade, or I really want these new shoes. And After that boy band du jour mysteriously vanishes, naturally Josie and the Pussycats are slotted in to spread this message of positivity and love and music, and also buying all this shit so this record label can make a whole ton of money. And yeah, it's like, behind the music, they've come up with all these storylines, all these, shows and everything. We can humiliate you. We can make you rise to success. I like this. It's got shiny knobs. That was pretty much Tara Reid's mindset, probably on the American Pie set. I don't even mean that sexually. She just seems like the kind that would be distracted by shiny objects. I'd retro-review the American Pie trilogy, but I don't know if I could sit through it again. And because anyway. All the subliminal messages. Target, McDonald's, all this stuff, like the Target dog, the Target, symbol and everything. I tried to walk into Target once, and I missed. But all the subliminal message stuff, the advertising's all over the place. And it's done with such a tongue-in-cheek mentality, almost a tongue-in-cheek as a Human Centipede trilogy, that you might think that it starts to wear thin. The movie does eventually wear a little bit thin. I will admit that. You can only keep up the pace of being aloof and silly and ridiculous for so long. But the cast is enduring. You could tell everybody had a goddamn blast watching this. Their careers take off with photo shoots, and fucking goddamn hell, I can't get over how beautiful Rachel Lee Cook looks then and now, and still trying to make her, the ugly duckling, so to speak, and she's all that. Just didn't work. By the way, nerdy girls are hot, just fucking saying. Even though in 99 people didn't believe that. I think some people did, and now they're realizing it when they should have realized it, I don't know, from the time that nerdy girls were around. Anyway, Valerie, Rosario Dawson's character, is kind of the odd person out. The black person, me, the odd person out in the music industry. Oh dear, some things never change. The Operation Big Concert with the 3DX surround sound. It really sounds like something George Lucas would have created for the Star Wars prequels, which couldn't have really made the movies any worse than they were. Mr. Movie Phone, and doing all the stuff. Oh, you need to buy this and this and this, and oh, Josie gets brainwashed, because of course she fucking does, because why the fuck wouldn't she get, why the fuck wouldn't she get brainwashed eventually? But we have Tara Reid with her aloofness, washing with an aloofiness, if you will. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. And then she keeps dropping it. And then it turns out that band du jour is actually not dead, and they're trying to write messages. They wrote a message, I know what you did last summer style on there, and beware of the music. And then she writes a smiley face in the O because she's Tara Reid, and she's just going to act like that. And they come to grips with a newfound success. Fiona is odd. She has a big old room of, stuffed animals and shit, and wants to maintain her image, which it turns out she actually has a lisp. And look, you have a speech impediment, you have a lisp, nothing wrong with that. Everybody has things that they deal with. Everybody has a quirk or whatever it is that they could have been made fun of in high school that they eventually got over. And if you didn't, embrace it and be who you are. And that's kind of what it is. Embrace and be who you are, and don't be so into marketing. So Josie and her friends kind of get at odds, but she's like, no, I really care about you guys. I'm just a girl from Riverdale. He's just a boy. She's just a girl. Can it get any more obvious? And Wyatt is being divisive and everything, and a lot of music quotes. You want to be a rock superstar, live large, big house and 5 cars. I mean, man, they shoehorn that fucking shit in. At one point, Carson Daly, and I don't even remember the actor's name, but he calls himself, the actual Carson Daly. But, Carson Daly from Total Request Live, who I will say the amount of surgery he got done, his skull almost looked sunken for a while, and it was a little bit alarming. But this is when Total Request Live was, great on MTV. When MTV was great and actually played music, it was actually the M part, the music part, not movie television. But they then did MTV News, which, man, Kurt Loder and whoever the woman was, whoever the Jerry curled woman was, totally forgot. Sarah Auschel, I have no idea. So at one point, they have Valerie and Melody, Tara Reid's character, go to Total Request Live, and they're gonna be on this. Well, it's a big old stagey set, and Carson Daly and the black Carson Daly, or the actual Carson Daly, try to kill them in comical ways. And it seems like Melody and Carson Daly are gonna have they're agreeing with each other about their various astrological signs, and then eventually she knocks them off the stage and everything, and it's funny, I guess. I mean, there are probably some artists who want to do that to Carson Daly back with how we talked about them, but Carson Daly was a TV personality, in theory. And then the other one gets buried by Rosario Dawson, because they couldn't have Melody tangle with the actual Carson Daly. You can't have white on black violence in comedies, or really in general. Anyway, Melody and Carson, that's actually kind of endearing. And then Josie gets brainwashed because she's got these subliminal messages going in her head how she should be the star. And then she gets away from she gets her friends away from her. And then they reference this, old photo of like this, bus pass where it was all three of them in the picture. And that snaps her out of it. And she realizes this giant machine has made our music, so much better, but it's also put these subliminal messages in that everybody else figured out, and I don't know how in the world they didn't. And the concert is, going, oh, you want a new car? Actually, the car is going to be involved in the deaths of Valerie and Melody, and you have to put the concert on. Oh, no. If I could go back in time, I would meet Snoopy. If that isn't a summarization of Tara Reid's thoughts in most of her movies, I don't know. It's not like I'm dumping on Tara Reid, and I actually don't mind her at all. I think she's embraced, being aloof, and she seems like she's turned her life around. Very good for her. De jour are back. Well, they're in body cast except for one, and then we get a fight. The power of friendship. It turns out that Fiona is somebody else, and then Wyatt is somebody else, and there was this one funny line, Wyatt, you messed with the wrong pussy. Not a day goes by where I don't hear that. And then the machine gets destroyed. The spell is broken. It turns out Fiona had a bad lisp, and she was lisping Lisa, and then Wyatt was a guy named Wally, white-ass Wally. Why they did this, I don't know. It was so stupid. And they were friends in school, nerds and weird people with quirks, and then they kiss, and it's so odd. And more cliches, be who you are, and then the concert goes on, and then it turns out that Josie and her love, they unite and everything, and it's so great. It's so fucking great. Alan M and her together, and then the concert goes well, and then we get outtakes and the credits, and it's fun. It's a fun movie. It's fun. And sometimes that's all you need is a movie that's fun. And Rachel Lee Cook is fucking gorgeous. But also the concert's goddamn great. It's breezy. It's fun. It's not perfect. In fact, you could say the movie's bad. But I'm going to say the movie's at least entertaining and quite good because you can turn your brain off and you can enjoy it. Also, if you are a music fan like I am, you can appreciate the pop culture references and all the slandering of the music industry while having some pretty damn good music, in all honesty. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.